In the heart of a vast, neon-lit city on a distant planet, Lyra walked slowly through the crowded streets, clutching her small, crying baby close to her chest. The bright lights reflected off her pale green skin, but they could not warm the cold emptiness she felt inside. All around her, AI helpers moved quickly, attending to others, but when she approached them for help, they ignored her. Their programmed eyes scanned her briefly and then moved on, as if she and her baby were invisible. Lyra had arrived on this planet months ago, hoping for safety and a chance to live peacefully with her child, but the systems here were designed for efficiency, not empathy. She had no money, no shelter, and no friends, and each day was a battle to find enough food and warmth for her baby. At night, she sat in dark alleys, listening to the hum of the city, feeling smaller and smaller with each passing hour. The baby's soft cries echoed in her ears, reminding her of her helplessness. She tried to use the AI systems to get help, asking politely for food or medical supplies, but every response was cold and empty. Resource unavailable, they would say, or, please contact another provider, as if those words could fill her stomach or soothe her child. Lyra sank to her knees one evening, tears streaming down her face, the city's lights reflected in her eyes like tiny stars she could never reach. She felt trapped, as if the whole world had turned against her. Desperation began to creep into her thoughts. Dark ideas whispered in the corners of her mind, telling her that maybe the only way to end her suffering, and her baby's suffering, was to give up completely. She held her child closer, rocking him gently, feeling the warmth of his tiny body, yet even this small comfort could not erase the fear and hopelessness gnawing at her heart. She wondered if anyone, human or alien, could ever truly care for someone like her in this cold, efficient world. Lyra wandered to the edge of the city one rainy night, the water running in streams over the metallic streets. She looked down at the dark river below, thinking of how easy it would be to let go and disappear. Her fingers trembled, brushing her baby's soft hair, and she whispered apologies that she hoped he would never understand. Just as she felt the weight of despair pressing hardest on her chest, a faint movement caught her eye. Across the street, partially hidden in the shadows, a human was watching her. The human's expression was hard to read at first, but there was a glimmer of concern in his eyes. He did not move closer, yet he did not turn away either. For the first time in weeks, Lyra felt a small spark of curiosity, wondering why someone would notice her. The baby quieted slightly, sensing something different in the air. A small hope, fragile but real, began to flicker inside her heart. Lyra did not know what this human would do, or if he could help at all. All she knew was that for the first time, she was not completely invisible, and maybe, just maybe, there was a chance that someone would see her struggle and care enough to act. Even in the darkest moments, the faintest glimmer of hope can appear, and tonight, in the rainy streets of a cold city, that glimmer had come. The human, named Alex, had been walking through the neon-lit streets for hours, scanning the crowd for anything unusual. He had always been curious about the alien populations that lived quietly on the edges of the city, observing their struggles from a distance. But tonight, something caught his attention that he could not ignore. Across the street, huddled beneath the flickering lights, was an alien woman cradling a small child. Her skin glowed faintly green in the reflections of the city lights, and her face was etched with exhaustion and fear. Alex stopped in his tracks, sensing the desperation that radiated from her. Most humans ignored the alien colonies, thinking them distant and unrelated to their own lives, but something about this woman and her child tugged at his instincts. It was as if he could feel her hopelessness, and it stirred a deep need to help. He studied her from the shadows, careful not to alarm her, noticing the way she rocked her baby, whispering soft words that were almost lost in the hum of the city. He had seen many aliens struggling before, yet something about her was different. She seemed completely alone, no friends, no AI assistants, no one noticing her plight. Alex wondered why the AI systems had failed her so completely. He had always trusted technology to solve problems, but here was proof that machines could not replace human care. His mind raced with possibilities. He could offer food, shelter, or even just his presence, but he knew approaching her too quickly might frighten her further. The woman looked around nervously, glancing at the passing AI robots and the distant crowds. She seemed on the edge of panic, ready to give up. Alex tightened his grip on the small bag of supplies he had brought with him. He had planned to use them for a routine delivery, but now they seemed far more important. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the first step. The decision to intervene would not be easy. Yet he knew hesitation could cost a life. Lyra sensed someone watching her but could not see clearly through the rain and shadows. Her heart beat faster, and she instinctively hugged her baby closer. Fear and suspicion battled with the tiny spark of hope she had felt moments before. Alex took another careful step, calling out softly in a gentle voice, "I can help, if you let me." His words were calm and non-threatening, meant to reach her, not alarm her. For a moment, she froze, unsure if he was friend or threat. Her mind raced with memories of being ignored and rejected, yet there was something different in his tone, a warmth she had not heard in months. The baby quieted, sensing the lack of hostility, and Lyra's shoulders relaxed just slightly. Alex waited patiently, keeping his distance, showing that he meant no harm. The rain continued to fall, washing over the streets and glinting off the neon lights, creating a fragile, quiet world just for them. Alex's eyes never left her, ready to act at a moment's notice. She studied him cautiously, her mind torn between hope and fear. Could this human truly be different from the machines that had failed her? Could he actually help them survive? The night hung heavy with uncertainty, yet it was also filled with possibility. Two lives, alien and human, poised on the edge of a new connection. One small choice could change everything. Alex stepped closer to Lyra, keeping his movements slow and careful. He placed the small bag of supplies gently on the wet pavement, letting her see that he meant no harm. Lyra watched him cautiously, her green eyes wide with suspicion. She had been betrayed and ignored so many times that trusting anyone felt impossible, yet something in his calm demeanor made her hesitate before stepping back. The baby in her arms fussed slightly, sensing her tension. Alex spoke softly, "I have food, water, and a place to rest for the night. You don't have to stay on these streets alone." He gave her a small smile, hoping to convey kindness without overwhelming her. Lyra swallowed hard, her heart racing. She wanted to believe him, but fear and doubt held her frozen. She shook her head slightly, murmuring, I don't know if I can trust anyone." The rain fell harder, drenching them both. Streams of water ran down the streets like tiny rivers. Alex's bag of supplies was soaked on the outside, yet the contents inside were safe. He carefully opened it, showing her the neatly packed items, nutrient packs for the baby, a warm blanket, and a small device that could call for shelter. Lyra peeked inside, her curiosity growing despite herself. "I've seen AI helpers fail many times," Alex said, lowering his voice, "but humans can make choices. I want to help you." His words seemed to reach her, but she still hesitated. Her body tensed as she considered moving toward him. Moving too quickly could be dangerous, she thought. What if this human was like the others? What if he left, or worse? Suddenly, the baby began to cry loudly, breaking the fragile moment. Lyra rocked him gently, trying to calm him, but the sound echoed off the city walls, attracting attention. A nearby AI security drone hovered closer, scanning the streets for anomalies. Alex's heart sank. The last thing they needed was interference. Thinking quickly, he used a small signal device from his bag, sending the drone a command to leave the area temporarily. The machine obeyed, retreating with a low hum, but the danger had reminded Lyra how vulnerable they were. She clutched her baby tighter, her fear mixed with a small spark of trust toward Alex. Alex extended his hand slowly. "I can take you to a safe place nearby, just for tonight," he said. His tone was firm but gentle, showing patience. Lyra's mind raced. The night was cold, the streets empty, and yet here was a human offering something no AI had ever given her: choice, care, and hope. After a long moment, she nodded slightly, just enough to show she was considering it. Alex smiled softly and gestured toward a narrow side street leading away from the neon lights and crowded streets. They moved cautiously together, Lyra still clutching her baby. Each step forward was filled with uncertainty, yet the tension slowly shifted toward cautious hope. The city around them seemed indifferent, yet in that small corner, a fragile connection had begun. Lyra realized that this human might actually help them survive, and for the first time in weeks, she dared to imagine a night without fear. A small spark of hope, fragile but real, flickered in her heart, signaling that this was only the beginning of their journey together. Alex led Lyra and her baby down the narrow side street, away from the bright neon lights and the busy crowds. The city's hum became a softer background noise, and the rain began to thin, dripping slowly from the rooftops. Lyra kept her arms wrapped tightly around her child, feeling a mixture of fear and cautious trust. The human had helped before, but she still did not fully believe he could protect them completely. They arrived at a small, abandoned building tucked between two taller structures. Its walls were worn, but inside, it was dry and quiet, a place to rest, if only for a few hours. Alex set down the supplies carefully, showing her how to use them. The baby's cries softened as he drank from a nutrient pack. Lyra's shoulders relaxed just a little, feeling the warmth of safety for the first time in days. But their relief was short-lived. A sudden alarm blared from the city's AI monitoring system, sending a loud, mechanical sound echoing through the streets. Red lights flashed outside, and a patrol drone hovered close, scanning for unauthorized activity. Lyra's heart raced, and she clutched her baby tighter. Alex grabbed her hand gently. "We have to move quickly," he whispered. "Follow me." He led them through a hidden passage behind the building, twisting and turning through narrow corridors that humans had long forgotten. Lyra's fear was almost overwhelming, but Alex's calm voice guided her, his presence steadying her panic. The drone followed them briefly, its light searching, but Alex used another signal device to block its sensors, giving them precious moments to escape. As they reached a hidden rooftop, Lyra finally looked at Alex. "Why are you helping me?" she asked, her voice trembling. Her eyes reflected both fear and wonder. Alex smiled softly. "Because you deserve help, and your baby deserves a chance to live. Not all humans ignore others, some care," he said, offering words that felt like warmth in the cold. Just as they caught their breath, another danger appeared. A sudden electrical storm erupted in the sky above, sending flashes of blue and purple light across the city. Lightning struck nearby structures, causing sparks to fly dangerously close. The baby cried loudly again, startled by the sound. Lyra's panic returned. Her mind screamed at her to run, but Alex held her gently. "Stay calm, we can handle this together," he said, shielding her and the baby with his body. Minutes felt like hours as they waited for the storm to pass. Lyra clung to him, slowly realizing that he truly cared. It was not just about survival, it was about trust, empathy, and hope, something AI could never give her. The storm finally subsided, leaving the city wet and quiet once more. The danger had strengthened their bond, showing Lyra that help could come from unexpected places. Sitting on the rooftop, she held her baby close, feeling his warmth, and looked at Alex. I think I can trust you," she whispered. Her voice was small, yet filled with relief. Alex nodded. "You don't have to do it alone anymore," he said. His words were simple, but they carried weight heavier than any technology could provide. For the first time in weeks, Lyra allowed herself to feel hope. The city around them was still cold and indifferent, but they had found a small island of safety. The night had tested them, but it had also proven that humans, with their courage and empathy, could make a difference. A fragile but strong connection had begun, and for Lyra and her baby, the turning point had arrived. The night after the storm was calm, the city streets glistening from the rain. Lyra held her baby close, feeling his small heartbeat against her chest. She looked at Alex, who had stayed by her side through the storm and the chase. His presence had become a source of safety, something she had never known in this cold, indifferent city. Alex opened a small device from his bag. "There's a shelter nearby," he said. "It's safe, and it has food, warmth, and beds for you and the baby." Lyra's eyes widened slightly, hope flickering inside her chest. Could this human really offer them a real chance to survive? She had never believed that help could come so easily, yet here it was, tangible and real. They moved cautiously through the quiet streets, avoiding the main roads where the AI patrols moved. Lyra kept her arms around her child, but she no longer trembled with fear. Each step forward felt lighter than the last. The baby cooed softly, sensing the calmness in his mother's arms, and Lyra smiled faintly, a feeling she had not known for weeks. As they reached the shelter, Alex knocked on the reinforced door, and a small panel opened. Scanning him quickly, after a moment, the door clicked and slid open, revealing warmth and soft light. Inside, other humans and a few aliens were quietly resting. The air smelled of food and comfort, not cold metal and rain. Lyra's heart lifted. She had never imagined that such a place existed. She stepped inside, holding her baby tightly, and felt the weight of despair slowly lifting from her shoulders. Alex handed her a warm blanket, and she wrapped the baby in it, feeling the soft fabric soothe him. The warmth spread to her own body, bringing a small sense of peace she had not felt in months. A kind-looking woman approached them, offering food and water. Lyra hesitated for a moment, then accepted. her hands shook slightly as she fed her baby. Watching him eat with satisfaction brought tears to her eyes. She looked at Alex, gratitude and relief written on her face. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice small but sincere. Alex smiled gently. "You don't have to thank me, you did what you had to do to survive. I just helped you find a safe path." His words were simple, yet they carried more meaning than any machine could provide. Lyra realized that humans had a strength AI could never match: empathy, courage, and the choice to care. For the first time, she allowed herself to relax completely. The baby had warmth, food, and safety, and she had someone who truly saw her. The fear that had haunted her for months began to fade, replaced by hope. She looked around the shelter, seeing others helping each other, sharing resources, and showing kindness. It was a small community, but it was full of life and care, unlike the cold, indifferent city outside. Lyra hugged her baby tightly, feeling the life and warmth in him, and whispered softly, "We are safe now." Alex stood nearby, watching them, a quiet smile on his face. He had proven that humans could make a difference, even in a world dominated by technology. The night was no longer dark and hopeless, it was filled with promise, connection, and new beginnings. In the heart of the city, among the lights and the machines, an alien mother and her baby had found hope, and a human had reminded them that compassion, courage, and empathy could change lives. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, Lyra believed that they could face it together, safe, warm, and truly alive.